Good morning. So this morning I found a few verses in 2 Corinthians chapter 12. I'm going to read 7 through 10. Because of the surpassing greatness of the revelations, for this reason, to keep me from exalting myself, there was given me a thorn in the flesh, a messenger of Satan to torment me, to keep me from exalting myself. Concerning this, I implored the Lord 3 times that it might leave me. And he has said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore, I am well content with weaknesses, with insults, with distresses, with persecutions and difficulties for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. So Paul, by far, was the most gifted and blessed of all the men of God of old. And of course, Paul is our main provider for most of the books in the New Testament. He's also was chosen by God, by Jesus, to be the deliverer of good news to the Gentiles. Because Jesus had actually told him so. Because Saul actually used to be the most zealous supporter of the law. And he persecuted those who followed Christ until Christ finally humbled him and told him what his purpose was going to be. So not only did Paul have all this knowledge, but he got humbled real quick by Jesus. And because of Paul's obedience, Jesus gives him great revelations as far as insights to teach the Gentiles of Christ's love for us and for his sacrifice for us. So, Paul states to us here, because of that, he's been given an adversary. He says a messenger of Satan to torment him. I mean, he's been given problems, troubles, and whatever it is, I'm guessing it really vexes Paul to the point where Paul has asked repeatedly for whatever is troubling him to be removed from him. And, and Jesus reminds Paul of who he is when he tells him, My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness. So, at that statement that Christ made to Paul, Paul realized that having troubles, being insulted, being distressed, having weaknesses, being persecuted is all there to help us rely on Christ, to depend on Christ. It allows our faith to show others not only what Christ means to us, but what Christ can do through us and for us when we allow him. So instead of being angry about his troubles and those who insult him and distress him and his weaknesses. He actually revels in it because he realizes that is what makes him strong, because it brings him back down to earth, so to speak. It humbles him to the point that he knows and he realizes that he has to have Christ in his life in order to live this life. That everything that is good that he has experienced is because of Christ, not because of his own doing. So I love the fact that Paul states that, I am well content with weaknesses, with insults and distresses, with persecution and difficulties for Christ's sake. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And you notice he says for Christ's sake. Whenever he has these troubles or whatever, because he's teaching the promise and the glory of Christ, that means that he's getting through to people. But it also shows how self-centered we are. And so when we stop being self-centered on ourselves and start embracing the difficult times, troubles, the insults for being followers of Christ, when we start to accept them and be content with the struggles and allow Christ to work through us and to help us get through it with the Holy Spirit, then we become spiritually strong warriors for Christ. And our faith and our determination to follow Christ will be seen by others, to the point to where there will be some that will see what Christ means to us and who he is, and they'll want to seek what we have, because our example opens the doorway that allows out the Holy Spirit to start tugging at the hearts of those that we're trying to reach. So that's what I got this morning. Anyways, y'all have a blessed day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.